Hello and welcome to this test drive of Boomers Rising, a series of interviews with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. My name is Rolf Evenson and I'll be your host for this series of interviews. So John, welcome, and thank you so much for taking this time to help us out. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Glad to be here, Rolf.
So, you and I have been for a few bike rides and we've had a few cups of coffee. We've had a chance to chat a bit, mostly just enough for me to get curious about you, because we haven't really talked in depth about much of anything, and so I've just been really looking forward to having this opportunity to find out a little bit more about you. So for starters, I'm just really curious to hear a little bit about what your life was like up to the point where you retired. What was your professional life? Where did you grow up? Just a few things like that.
Well, I grew up in Illinois, and after graduating from the University of Illinois, worked briefly in Illinois. But within the first 2 or 3 years after getting out of school, went to work for IBM, firstly in Minneapolis, and then throughout my 33 years at IBM at various physical locations, Minneapolis, South Dakota, North Carolina, and then for about the last actually 21 years of the time at IBM, I was at an office on the south side of Denver.
Okay.
So moved to Denver in 1985, retired from IBM in 2006.
So you've been retired for about 8 years now?
A little bit better than 8 years.
Okay. So I'm really curious to know what that's been like for you. What has it been? Has retirement been anything like you expected?
No, it's not like I expected, but it's been great. I had at one time thought that in my retirement I would spend about a third of my time volunteering, about a third of my time consulting, and about a third of my time traveling, in rough proportion.
Yep.
But in retirement, at least in my retirement, there are no deadlines. Almost everything can be deferred to tomorrow. So that kind of leaves you with a lot of things to do.
I'm really struck as I talk to people who are in the midst of retirement, how many of them say, I thought I would have more time. And it seems like once you get into that state, if you're a person who's engaged and has a lot of interests, it's not very difficult to stay busy doing things that you enjoy.
I think that's true. I have a feeling that there are two types of people who can retire and people who cannot. I happen to be one who can retire, and I think it's been successful. I think the people who cannot, and so part of my makeup now is that I detest schedules. Certainly, I have a dental appointment later on today, but I detest schedules that say every day you have to do something at 10 o'clock, on Thursdays you have to do this.